rolling through Bone Town Scholomance, and what you're going to do is charge in and just pull pretty much the first two, build up a lot of rage, and then pull the next two. Keep in mind, I'm using Quel'Serrar and Brutality Blade, so I'm trying to get the proc as I'm taking the dungeon. It actually works out really well. Your Shaman Healer, yeah, that's right, you need a Shaman, is going to be pivotal. So having a great healer makes all the difference in the world. This is almost not possible without an attentive and capable healer. This guy was awesome. Dropped Wind Fury for a pretty heavy melee group. So anyway, we go down the stairs. We're going to pull the ranged mobs behind the stairwell, and that LOSs them. Open up the gate in the left side. You want to pull the melee creatures back, kill those first, try to get them out. Not that big of a deal, but then after they're dead, you run inside, and we're going to try to kill the summoners first, okay? So you can just run inside and go straight for the summoner. Now, something you'll probably notice is that when I'm holding aggro, I'm mainly doing it with battle shout. So you just battle shout, battle shout, battle shout nonstop. Okay, and then cleave like crazy. Because you're taking a little more damage with the dual wield, you should have plenty of rage. So just get in there and use your shouts. Now, keep in mind, I'm also using 3-piece Conquerors. So 3-piece AQ40 gear allows my demo and my battle shouts to cost only 6 rage, which is pretty beautiful. So you can just sit there, sit on top of the mobs, and just spam shout on them. So clear the whole room because they drop a lot of runes. It's like RuneScape, except you don't want to run away. All right, okay, next up, we're gonna pull the next room by shooting and then going behind the wall. Don't run in because there are a lot of casters, and it's a nightmare when you're trying to dual wield tank and you don't get first entry. In other words, when someone else gets aggro like the healer, you really want everything to be hitting you first. So make sure you communicate directly to your group and say, look, wait for them to clump. Like right there, you'll see that all the mobs started casting. I had to kind of go chasing, and chasing is not good when you have no rage. So best thing is shoot and LOS. So you shoot, go LOS, stand on the corner, wait for them to clump, and then your melee is going to love you too, because it's easier for them to interrupt like 3 different targets because they're very close. Also, they can just chain heal. This healer was amazing. He just stood on top of me, so no matter what happened, they were always clumped. My rotation is actually very simple. I always prioritize Bloodthirst. Bloodthirst comes first, okay? But if I'm rage starved, I might start with a 6 rage shout because it's just so cheap, right? And you generate a lot of TPS in a dungeon when you're spamming battle shout. So you'll see that I cleave a lot when I know I'm going to get the rage, and I also spam the crap out of battle shout. It just works wonders. Okay, if it's single target, I'll usually prioritize Bloodthirst and Sunder Armor instead. So that's pretty much all there is to it. You just make sure that you LOS everything behind the doors, communicate with the group, let them know, like, hey, try to stand together because there's no reason not to, and just zug, really. Scholomance is not that tricky. For some people, some people come in here and they don't have the confidence, they don't have the experience, and they don't know how to take leadership. And honestly, a lot of it is gear. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of it is gear. So, when I walked in here in both full prot, like deep prot, and then also in fury prot, I recognized the difference right away. With deep prot, it's slow. It's really slow. But you do have a better time of it when it comes to changing stances for certain abilities. Like if you wanted to thunderclap, for example, it's possible in deep prot, but in fury prot you don't have a chance. There's no way you're going to be thunderclapping. It's just stupid. You could theoretically blow all your rage, switch stances, use thunderclap, switch back, but it's just that little window of time is important. So this next room is really important. Pull the whelps in a way where they're going to clump up. So you can either LOS them behind the bookshelf in the other room, or you can bring your healer with you and just stand on them. I prefer just standing together. There's no reason not to, If healer gets aggro, it's no big deal. But when you're spamming battle shout, you're not going to have that problem. I promise you that. You are not going to have an aggro problem. Okay, so again, it's kind of gear dependent. You can also have melee interrupt the whelp casts. They can hurt. Honestly, as you see, I almost die a couple times, but healer was awesome. Okay. Rattlegore is important in this room. Pull them one at a time because they hit fucking hard. And so just pull them one at a time and use Sunder a lot. And then use your defensive stuff. If you need to, use a shield in this portion. Get the boss and the little ad. Kill the ad first it does hurt and he stuns. Be ready for that. So he'll drop aggro. There really isn't much to say about him. Use Demo Shout for sure, and use a cooldown if you need to survive. You can also Diamond Flask before that pull. It makes it a lot easier. Kill both sides of the balcony pull, or whatever you want to call this, and just yank them up here and tank them right on a corner. Works really well when you take them on a corner like this, because when they drop the poison, it's on the inside, and then you can just pull them back and then go on one side. To get the next one, you can even take it in front of the poison. This is largely going to be just up to your healer, and you're going to get webbed a lot, so try not to get webbed in a poison. I know that's kind of harder, easier said than done. Rinse and repeat for the whole room. It's good to kill all of them because there's a pretty high chance of them dropping Scourge Stones. So just clear the room. There's no reason not to. You're already so fast. Again, if I know they're all going to be hitting me, use your abilities. So use Demo Shout, use Battle Shout, use Cleave, like spend the rage. That's probably the biggest beginner mistake I notice, is that even without that much gear, you can do a lot. Your rage is everything though. You need to have rage, and you need to use it wisely. So spam the Battle Shout. Don't be afraid to do that. Even when it's 10 rage, it's okay. Just spam it. It goes a long way. You might not immediately see the effects, but if you do spam it after 3 or 4 casts, you're going to notice that the mobs will start to react to you. And if you don't already, definitely get threat plates. It makes a huge difference in your game. And I'm always changing targets as well. Some people use tab. I actually click the targets on their plates. And the reason for this is I notice that sometimes they'll turn yellow, and I want to make sure that I smack them with a with a Sunder Armor, or smack them with a Bloodthirst if I have it off cooldown. And every time I see that yellow bar, I just think, okay, that's the one that I need to smack, right? Because pretty soon it's gonna shift. Okay. What else can I say, really? It's really a matter of using your rage wisely, and don't overcomplicate it, right? If you have a lot of mobs, spam the crap out of your shouts. Okay, don't worry so much about doing damage. That's not the important thing. Does it help? Yeah, of course it helps. It really does. It helps to do a lot more damage. But it's not the most important thing for your group. The most important thing is to keep it off the healer and keep it off your mage if possible. So it's a lot of fun actually when you get better and better and mage gear gets better and better. People start doing more DPS, they pull threat more often, and it gives you an opportunity to really go for it and practice your AoE. Now, if you have the engineering shield, that makes this a lot better and a lot easier because everything gets hit by your shield. If you are dual wield tanking the dungeon, make sure that you are switching targets often, make sure that you're spamming cleave shouts, etc. Okay, now that I've beaten that idea dead, we can just finish out the instance. So you make your way around the top, and if you feel good about your healer, you can pull this entire room. You could even pull that entire last room if you wanted to. Cleave the crap out of them, shout the crap out of them, taunt if they go toward your mage, and you should be able to get them down nice like this, spread out so the clouds don't kill anyone. Okay, the best group in my opinion is when you have multiple warriors and a Wind Fury, because they're just so resilient. And the only problem you're gonna have is in this final room we're coming up to now, where when you pull these mobs, they transform into ghosts and they can only be killed with magic abilities. You can use grenades on these, so just keep that in mind. Bring grenades, bring dynamite. It does work, okay? But they'll not spam cast, but they're gonna cast a volley and it murders your group. So have your shaman cast Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt. Killing them is better than healing us, right? Because you can heal us until you go and the mobs still don't die. It's better to just kill them and risk us dying for those like 2 seconds. Okay, so what you're going to kind of get into is a nice flow state with this, and it really is about spending your rage. I think that's the best way to put it, you know? When you're trying to get better at dungeons, you just need to spend your rage. And one of the benefits of actually getting hit kind of hard is that you get more rage that way. If your mitigation is too high, if your dodge is too high, etc., you're not getting as much rage actually. So as long as your healer is cool, you can actually do a lot with a little bit of gear. You can use pre-raid Biss and do really well as a dual wield Fury Prot. But it is amazing when you start getting good gear, because you get crit them a lot more. And when you get Flurry proc plus Wind Fury plus Quel'Serrar plus double Crusader, you don't even need world buffs, dude. You're just going to feel like a god. It's an amazing feeling. I'm not going to lie. It's really an amazing feeling. And it makes a huge difference because now your mage can open up. Even if they're fire, they can just open up right away and they're not going to pull it off of you. So that's very satisfying. And the good thing about QS is that if you get the proc, which I just did on the pull here, it gives you 300 armor. I think it was 300, and it gives you defense. So you get double Crusader, as you can see in the picture. I got double Crusader plus the Wind Fury and a Quasar. So all of those procking make you very tanky in your dual wield. Okay. Now with this guy, you want to disarm him because he hurts and there's like a constant shadow damage thing. So kill the little ones, then kill him, but disarm him. And then I always pop wreck on this baby. So I pull him, I pop wreck, and I stay in Berserker stance and I just murder him. And that's pretty much all she wrote. So takeaways from this are prioritize Bloodthirst, especially in single target. You want to dump your rage on that because it snaps things to you. But if you're pulling AoE packs, make your life easy and spam Battle Shout, spam Demo Shout, and switch targets and throw in Asunder here and there. Use Taunt if someone yanks it off, and you're fine. You know, the key is just to stay super smooth, relaxed, and focused. And that's it. That's Scholomance in a nutshell. Get out there, collect some bones. With that, go forth knowing.